Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to day one of the Unleash Your Greatness 2018 three-day series. I want to take the time to welcome you to the call today. This is Bhavnani-Akowuah, your host for the three-day event. I am very, very excited about the type of information that we have for you to help you prepare and make 2018 fantastically different. Today, I am honored and humbled to invite our first guest speaker to our call. This guest speaker is a lady that I admire dearly. She's a woman that I definitely, have been following for a couple of years. She is an amazing speaker. Cheryl Wood is an award-winning international keynote speaker, leadership expert, author, speaker development coach, and revered champion of women's empowerment, recognized worldwide for her riveting speeches and her bold and audacious approach to life. Wood's fervent passion for supporting the personal development and economic empowerment of women globally, coupled with her unparalleled drive and work ethic, catapulted her business from a legal secretary to a renowned international speaker in 6 short years. Her compelling story of being a mother of 3, frantically seeking a way to create work-life balance, took a dramatic turn upward as she learned to take risks, immobilize her fears, and breathe life into her now successful speaking and coaching business. Ms. Wood has been featured on Dr. Oz's show, ABC Radio, One, Forbes magazine, Ebony magazine, and the list goes on and on. Ms. Wood believes that we are all created with a unique fingerprint and destined to make a unique impact on the world that is distinct from anyone else. Sadly, many of us spend the bulk of our time procrastinating, doubting, comparing, questioning, and fearing whether or not our fingerprint matters at all. In this empowering and energetic presentation, Ms. Cheryl Wood will explain why your fingerprint matters to the world, how to unveil your unique fingerprint if you're not sure where to start, how to stop underestimating your unique gift, and the top 5 ways to move into action to make your fingerprint count. I am so excited about this presentation. I can't wait to take notes and learn from Ms. Cheryl Wood today. So without further ado, I would like to turn the call over to none other than our renowned international keynote speaker today, Mrs. Cheryl Wood. Ms. Cheryl Wood, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Take it away, and thank you again. We're honored to have you on the call.
Oh, absolutely. Let me make sure my phone is turned up at a decent volume. So good evening, everyone. I am super excited to be here. Thank you so much, Lavina, for having me. Thank you, most importantly, for putting this event on, because here's what I know. I know that a lot of people who are tuned in and listening, and maybe even individuals who might listen to the replay, we are all gearing up with a new energy and a new excitement about what the new year is going to bring. That's just how it works. Most of us, we look at a new year as an opportunity to say, how am I going to be better in this new year than I was in the year before? It doesn't matter how amazing your year was. It doesn't matter what you accomplished. It doesn't matter. We are always looking at the bigger picture, which is, how do I truly become a better person? How do I become more accomplished? How do I become more fulfilled? How do I find more peace or more joy in my life? How do I serve others? So all of us have a similar energy around this new year, because it is something that we're anticipating as a thing that is going to propel us into a better version of ourselves. And when you have this many people, when I say this many people, let's just say, majority of the population all excited and having this energy about something similar, becoming better, it's a great way to have this conversation, the conversations that you are sparking over the next several days. So I'm excited to be a part of this, because I know that as a result of something that someone's going to hear as a part of this summit, someone is going to shift in a direction that perhaps they didn't anticipate. And that's always powerful, to know that you can open someone's mind, you can open someone's heart simply by creating a platform that perhaps will get them to thinking of things in a way that they didn't think about it before. So I'm here because I'm excited to go into 2018 empowering and equipping individuals, men and women, to use their unique fingerprint to impact the world in a way that they've never impacted the world. And again, it doesn't matter how amazing 2017 was or the years before, we're always looking at how do I make this coming year even better. I use the word fingerprint for a specific reason, making your unique fingerprint count. Because when you think about a fingerprint, fingerprints all have patterns, and those patterns are all unique to every single individual. So there are not two people out of the 7.6 billion people in the world who have the same fingerprint. Even identical twins, and I don't know how many of you know, but I am a twin. I have a fraternal twin sister who's 2 minutes older than me. That's just a little personal information. But even identical twins or fraternal twins who share their DNA do not have identical fingerprints. So what does that mean? That means no one else can be you except you. Wow. Like, just let that settle in for a moment. Let that resonate. No one else can be you but you. That means there is something special about you that not one single person, even someone who perhaps you shared the womb with, as I did with my twin sister, not one individual out of 7.6 billion people can ever duplicate the impact that you are destined to make on the world. And in order to unleash your greatness, since that's our overarching topic, in order to unleash the greatness that you know is settled down in there somewhere within you, you first have to embrace that there is greatness in you, which means you have to acknowledge that you do have a unique fingerprint, that no matter how many other people there are that are talking about perhaps what you want to talk about, that have a story that's similar to your story, that have been through some of the things you've been through, no matter how many other people in the world seem similar to you, none of them can duplicate you. So you first have to embrace that there is greatness and uniqueness in you in order to make the impact that you're destined to make. And so many of us do. We throw away so much valuable time diminishing the greatness that's within us. We're running from the greatness that is within us, or we're playing so small that we don't want to take the risk of stepping up to play for the greatness that's really within us. So we allow ourselves to kind of hover and dim on a 45 watt when we know really we should be shining brightly on 100 watts. So you have to embrace that there's greatness in you, and then you have to acknowledge that you have unique gifts and talents that make you destined to change the world. That, yes, somebody else's life is never going to be the same without them experiencing your unique touch, your unique fingerprint, your impact, your voice, your story, those sweet potato pies you make. Whatever that gift is that is within you, somebody else's life will never be the same. Somebody will miss their blessing, their calling, or perhaps their destiny if they don't experience your gift, your greatness, if they don't hear your story, if they don't have the opportunity to be touched or inspired by your unique journey. And you're going to hear me use that word a lot tonight. Unique, unique, unique. Because you are unique. There is no one else who is like you. There are no two people who are the same. Here's another thing. You cannot unleash greatness if you don't believe it and if you don't expect it. So you have to acknowledge there's greatness within you. You have to acknowledge that nobody can do what you do, that you are a masterpiece. And you have to acknowledge that the greatness in you is meant to impact lives, and then you have to set an expectation to it. So do you believe that you were born for something bigger than just you? meaning something outside of you that's supposed to impact other people's lives. Do you believe that? Do you really believe it at your core? Do you believe that the world is waiting on you to show up? Do you believe that the world is waiting on you to stop playing small and safe? Do you believe that someone is sitting and waiting for you and that you are the answer to whatever direction they're supposed to be going in their life? See, I didn't believe that just 6 years ago. Because just 6 years ago, I was still going to a corporate job. I was still just running the routine of life. I was just doing the things I was supposed to do, wearing the hats, wearing the smile to the job that didn't nurture my spirit. It didn't fulfill my soul. I wasn't unleashing anything great because I hadn't yet come to the realization that there was any greatness in me. I was just existing. Now, deep in my gut, in the core of who I was, there was something that was tugging on me and pulling on me, telling me, Cheryl, you're supposed to be doing something else. Cheryl, there's greatness waiting for you. Cheryl, life is so much bigger than what you're making it right now. But until I had the courage to step out and explore that greatness, and until I had the courage to start believing that there was a greatness that was settled in me that I needed to create some momentum around, then I was always just going to be stuck in that place where I was held hostage to my disbelief about the greatness that was settled inside of me. So I kept going to the job that didn't nurture my spirit. I kept building somebody else's dream. I kept crying every morning in the parking lot when I dropped my kids off at 6 o'clock in the morning because I really wanted to be with them. I didn't want somebody else raising my kids, meaning they were in someone else's care 12 hours a day. I dropped them off at 6 a.m. I didn't pick them up till 6 p.m. And then I gave them the worst parts of me. And I didn't want that. I didn't want that to be my reality. But who was going to change it except for me? So some of you have some realities that you are not too happy with. There are some things in your life that you're like, this needs to change. I'm in a toxic relationship. I need to get rid of some friends who aren't supporting me in my goals. I need to do things differently. I need to shift my energy. I need to create bigger goals and stop playing safe. I need to go back to school. I need to start the business. Whatever that thing is, I need to open myself up to new friendships or relationships. Whatever that thing is, some of you are listening, and I'm hoping that this is going to be the moment that you have the breakthrough to realize that greater is calling for you, that we need you. Somebody needs you. They need you to play bigger and unleash your greatness so that they can believe it's possible for them. So you have to create an expectation for 2018. And I don't want you to wait until, what are we, 11 days out from the new year? I don't want you to wait, not 11 days, only a few days out from the new year. I don't want you to wait until the new year. I want you to start now. I want you to create the expectation now. How will I be different for 2018? What will I accomplish that's going to be different in 2018? What am I going to remove that's no longer serving me in 2018? How am I going to be different? What's going to happen and change and shift when I look up and it's December 27th of 2018? What's going to be different than today, December 27th of 2017? What's most important to me for 2018? What does the best look like for me? What does the best version of me look like? How am I going to shift and become this person who is walking fully in my gifts and my talents, who is showing the world who I know I'm destined to be? How am I going to place bets on me? Am I going to take risks and just believe that I have everything that it takes to become whoever I want to be? Or am I just going to play the same way I played in 2017? I took some little small chances, but I didn't really place all bets fully on me. You've got to look that thing straight in the eye, and you've got to call it out for what it is. And you've got to know when you're playing small, and you've got to call yourself out on that. And if you're playing comfortable and you know that your spirit and your soul is yearning for something more and something greater, but you ain't doing it because fear is telling you you're not good enough, fear is telling you it ain't never going to work, it's time for you to face fear head on. Look it straight in the eye and say, you know what, I'm coming for you. That's what I had to do in my journey. I'm like, fear, I'm coming for you. I know what this is. You're trying to stop me from going into greatness. No more. And you've got to make that decision. And I love this quote, and you'll hear me say this quote so often, by Tony Robbins, that a real decision is measured by the fact that you've taken a new action. And if there is no new action, you have not truly decided. So what you're going to do about it is the ultimate question. What do you want to see different, and what are you going to do about it? Now, here's the thing. once you decide, once you make that decision and you say, okay, I'm going to get healthier, I'm going to get healthy and fit, or I'm going to eliminate some toxic relationships, or, I'm going to take my business to the next level, and I'm going to, change my income and my revenue or my profit margins. I'm going to increase my profit margins, or whatever that thing is. I'm going to find the love of my life, or whatever it is that you decide that identifies with greatness for you, you have to have a level of commitment to that. And when I think of commitment, I think of like crazy glue. Like, I don't know well, look, I'm probably dating myself, but there used to be a commercial with this glue, crazy glue, and literally you could drop a glass and the handle would fall off the mug or the glass, and you could take that crazy glue and adhere it back to the handle that fell off of the mug, and you could stick it back to the mug, and it would be stuck. What are you willing to be stuck to? What habits, what patterns, what routines are you willing to be stuck to so that your commitment doesn't wean off as you get into the middle of next year? Because maybe you're not seeing the results that you want as quickly as you would like them. Commitment entails sticking to it. Now, commitment always is going to reach a point of resistance. It's always going to be challenged, so you can't stop that. What you can shift is how you handle the challenges, how you handle the resistance to the commitment that you have made to whatever your big goal is, whatever that greatness is that you want unleashed out of you. So let me give you a few takeaways that I think will help you as you are unleashing your greatness for 2018, as you are being determined to leave your unique fingerprint on the world. Look, you guys, I don't know how many of you know my story, but it's so important that you understand that I'm a woman who's talking to you not just from something I read in a book, not just from something that sounds good. No, I'm talking to you from real life experience. That for too long I held myself hostage to being good, to being okay, to being mediocre, not being great, because I just didn't think that the world needed me. Like, why would they need this girl who grew up in poverty, who was the product of a single-parent household, who didn't have a college degree? What would the world possibly need me for? And I kept myself stuck in a place of mediocrity and average and okay and a so-so life that didn't truly fulfill my soul because I just couldn't see how in the world could the world really need me. And then once I gave myself permission to explore what unleashing my greatness really looked like, to explore the idea that maybe someone is waiting on me, maybe I can help change someone's life, someone's perspective about what's possible for them. Just maybe, like giving myself that little glimmer of hope and light in a maybe has resulted in me being able to impact thousands of lives. And I think back and I say, wow, if 6 years ago, if I didn't place all bets on me, if I didn't give myself the option and the chance to explore what was possible, there would be thousands and thousands of people today who would not be walking in their gift and their greatness because I didn't walk in mine, because I didn't take decisive action. So I'm here to remind you that the world does need you and the world is waiting. Stop making us wait. Take some chances, for God's sake, in 2018. You can play safe later. You can come back and do what you know how to do. You can do that later because you've probably been doing that for a really long time. You've been doing safe. You've been doing familiar. You've been doing comfortable for a long time, and that's always going to be there. Safe, familiar, and comfortable ain't going nowhere. I'm challenging you and daring you to play all out for 2018, to show us a greatness in you that it blows your mind. So how do you do that? Number one, acknowledge your why for where you are right now. Why do you want to play bigger? Why is it important for you to aim to become the best version of you, not just be okay and content with where you are? Why? What's the bigger reason? And that reason doesn't have to be a why or a reason that was connected to something that you said 6 months ago or last January or the year before that. No, I'm talking about from where you are today, because all of us grow and evolve and change. Like my kids now, we're 6 years later, my kids aren't babies anymore. My kids are 10, 11, and 13. They're developing into young adults now. They have their own idea of how they want to spend their time, where they want to go, don't want to go. And I got to accept that now I'm in a different season of my life. So my why might be different today than it was last year or 4 years ago or 5 years ago or 6 years ago. Acknowledge your why now. Why is it important for me to play all out and to unleash my greatness now? How is that going to benefit me? How is it going to benefit the world? How is it going to serve the world greater? Who am I meant to touch? And why is it important for me to touch those individuals' lives? Number 2, write it down. Make it a real goal by writing it down. Like, it's not just enough to think about this. Like, after this call, you might feel fired up. You might be energized. After you have these sessions over the next 3 days, you got all this momentum. You know, you're inflated. You're like, yeah, I'm going to do it. But guess what? If you don't write it down, it just becomes a wish. And wishes are for what? Dreams and fairy tales. We're in the real world. So you need to write the goal down. Make it real. And it could be a personal goal. It could be a professional goal. It could be, hey, I want to create this health goal, or I want to create a new income goal, or I want to create a philanthropic goal. You get to decide. You're in charge. But take the goal out of your mind and write it down on paper so that you can look at it, so you can think about it, so that you can visualize what it's going to feel like when you accomplish it. If you just leave it in your mind, it just becomes another thought that's racing around in your mind like all the other thousands of thoughts that go through your mind every day. Think about all the things you think about. I don't know about you, but I'm always like, okay, did I give my kid money for school for lunch? Okay, did I get snacks for their lunch bag? Okay, oh, that's right, they needed this amount of money for the school field trip that's coming up. Oh, they have their winter concert. Oh, did I make the payment on their instrument? Oh, what am I going to cook for dinner? I got to get to the grocery store. Oh, man, I forgot I need to air my tire, right? And that's not even including business and all the clients I serve. So if I just allow my goals to kind of intermingle with all the other thoughts that are in my mind, it gets lost. And when it gets lost, it gets forgotten. So I want you to create the goals, and I want you to write them down. Number 3, I want you to take the focus off of you and shift it to knowing that it's for someone else. You unleashing your greatness, it's going to ultimately feel good to you, to feel good in your spirit and in your soul, because today I feel amazing that I get to do this thing that I love so much. It feels amazing that, wow, I took a risk 6 years ago to embark upon the speaking industry, and that now I'm a highly requested speaker who's traveling all over the world. That feels amazing, but what feels more amazing than that is when I get an email from someone who says, you inspire me. Because of you, I have done this. I started my radio show. I just applied for my first speaking engagement, or whatever it might be. I took the risk and walked away from my job, and now I'm doing my business full time. So when you take the focus off of you and you really put it into perspective that my gift is not for me, it's for someone else, people are depending on me, that creates a level of accountability that will keep you inspired about your own commitment to unleashing your greatness. Number 4, get out into the world and demand what you really want. There's this quote that I love that says, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you demand. So what are you demanding from the world? And when I say demand, like sometimes demanding something is the way that you hustle to go get it. Like you're demanding that the world pay attention to you. Sometimes it's speaking up for yourself and telling someone what you want. Sometimes it's just having a conversation with someone and just expressing yourself and what you need. So are you getting out into the world and demanding what you want, or are you just sitting and waiting for life to hand you what you feel like you deserve? I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be in this place if I just waited for life to just drop into my lap what I thought I deserved because I was a good person. Just because you're a good person and you're doing great things doesn't mean that life is just going to hand you over what you deserve. You've got to get out and demand it and fight for it and say, this is so important to me that I'm willing to fight for it, I'm willing to sacrifice for it, I'm willing to get out and talk about it, even when here's the part. Even when my reality doesn't match what I'm saying I want. Because when you first start unleashing your greatness and you're talking about these goals and these big dreams that you have and these things that you want to accomplish, right, oftentimes as adults, we tend to like, oh, okay. Now, if a kid is saying they want to do something big, we're all for it and we're rooting them on and we're like, yeah, you can do it, you can do it, you can be anything. But when you become an adult and now you got bills and you got family and you got responsibilities, for some reason people don't equate responsibilities with being able to also have a space created where you can still pursue your dream and unleash your greatness. And I'm telling you that it's time to shift that ideology. It's time to get out and demand what you want. Make the sacrifices for it. Speak up about it. Tell people about it. Visualize it. Take the actions that align you with the belief that you're going to accomplish whatever it is that you set your mind to for 2018. Number 5, acknowledge what's lacking and then go out and get it. So if you're going to play bigger in 2018, you're going to unleash your greatness, and you know you need more accountability, go out and find it. If you know you need a stronger network, get out and find it. Seek it out. Don't wait for it to fall in your lap. If you know you need a coach, you need a mentor, if you know you need more knowledge in a certain area, if you know you're talking about going back to school and getting a higher education, okay, get out and do whatever it takes for you to align yourself with the big dream. Number 6, get your eyes off of everybody else. I cannot emphasize this enough. As you're unleashing your greatness, you cannot be looking to the left and looking to the right and seeing what she doing and he doing and they doing. You got to stay focused, laser focused, and stay in your lane. Too many people, they have a goal, they have a big dream. It could be a personal goal, it could be a professional goal, a business goal, it doesn't matter, but they get distracted by what other people are doing. And then they spend so much time distracted that it becomes a complete disruption in their course. In the course that was going to lead them to their ultimate destiny of what they wanted to accomplish. So you've got to be laser focused on you. Where am I going? What do I need to do every day? And don't get sidetracked by what you see other people doing. And then last but not least, number 7, do something that scares you. So if you're going to play in this lane called greatness, you got to make sure that you're doing some things that scare you, that make your heart pound, that make your palms sweat. Literally, if it doesn't scare you, it's not going to grow you. If it doesn't scare you, it just means you're playing in a lane called safe and familiar. Oh, I know how to do this already. You got to interrupt your norm. You got to do some things that you're like, wow, I've never done this before. I don't know what's on the other side of this. But here's the thing. Most of us assume that there's something bad on the other side. Oh, if I take this risk, this might happen. And we equate taking a risk with something negative on the other side. So we can shift our thinking and our mindset to say, you know what, I don't know what's on the other side, but I'm assuming and hoping that it's going to be something amazing and enlightening. In 2012, I decided to take a big risk. So I went and jumped out of a plane. I went skydiving for the first time. Then I was like, oh, my God, I can't believe you're going to go jump out of a plane. I couldn't even believe I was going to jump out of a plane because I'm terrified of heights. But before I went and jumped out of the plane, I had already in my mind come up with what I thought the experience was going to look like, right, what it was going to feel like. I was like, oh, it's probably going to make my stomach do that flipping thing that it does, like when you're on a roller coaster and it's going to be this. And I was creating all of this talk in my mind about what it was going to be. So I go up, go on the plane, jump out, and it's completely different than what I had made up in my mind. The experience was nothing like what I thought it was going to be. And that proved to me that you can never make an assumption about what a risk is going to lead to, what the experience is going to feel like before you experience it. So give yourself permission to play all out this year, you guys. Give yourself permission to be amazing. Not just good, not just mediocre, not just an okay life, to have an amazing life, an abundant life, a life filled with joy, a life filled with just fulfillment about doing the things that you know you're called to do, a life where you know that you are leaving your unique fingerprint on other people through your example and through your gifts and your talents. You owe it to yourself and you owe it to the world to unleash your greatness in 2018 without apologies. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to you, Lavina.
Wow. I am so blown away, Cheryl. I have 2 pages full of notes over here. I am hoping and praying that everyone took notes just like I did. I have learned so much over here. First of all, no one else can be you except you. That was truly an aha moment for me to think about it this way, think about my life this way. And I hope that each and every one of you were blessed by that. I also really like the quote that you shared, Cheryl. A real decision is measured by the fact that you've taken real action. And I think that's the key decision or the key, strategy that we want to drive home for those of you who are listening on the call today, because if you're on the call today, it means that you truly do want something different in 2018, and hopefully the tools and strategies that you've heard here today will help you to take some action. Most of all, I took so many notes, acknowledging your why now, writing down your personal goals, taking the focus off of you, acknowledging what you're lacking, taking your eyes off of everyone, and doing something that scares you. And Cheryl, I love the example that you shared so much, not for all of us to assume about what the risk is going to look like. I have truly been blessed with this training, and I know that I'm going to totally apply all of these strategies that you shared with us in 2018. Thank you so much for your time, Cheryl. We are truly honored that you got the opportunity to speak to us today and bless us with this training.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, lastly, I want to thank you guys again for being on the call. I wanted to invite you guys to get back on the call tomorrow, same time at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow, you get to hear another training definitely in line with what was shared today, because as Cheryl shared with you, the focus of this 3-day series is unleashing your greatness in 2018. So tomorrow you get to hear from me, your hostess, on how not to sleep on your dreams, okay? So I believe that we are all fearfully and wonderfully made, and that each one of us can unleash the greatness that we have inside of us if we're truly fulfilled and pursue our dreams. Tomorrow, you get to take a journey through my life while I draw out 5 key lessons that will prompt you to reflect on your life and assess your level of fulfillment and help you set meaningful goals that will propel you to unleash the unique greatness that you have in you in 2018. Ladies and gentlemen, please don't get on this call alone. Please make sure that you're inviting your friends to join this call with you. They say that if you look around you and you look at the 5 people that are surrounded by you, that should tell you where your journey is going. So take some chance and invite 5 important people in your life to join you on this call tomorrow, and let's help you together to unleash your greatness in 2018. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, again for your time, and I'll see you on the call same time tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central. Have a good night, everyone.